I could have never had kids in my early 20s or even my early 30s. You'd have like so much resentment and FOMO that like, dude, I never had freedom. I never had agility to do what I wanted to do. Like I always was bound to this obligation or whatever. For me, now things have changed for a few reasons. Like one, you creating the family, but two, I'm really actually like sinking my teeth into it and I really, really enjoy it.
There's really no way in the universe that we're the only thing that exists here. It's just too damn big. Could be a million of these experiments going on all over in space,
yeah.
Right? Is that what you believe?
So we'll see you next time.
You can't do that. Well, welcome back to another episode of the Who Cares podcast. I am Jeff J. Cole.
I'm Jay O'Brien. My favorite flavor of ice cream is mint chip. Yours is vanilla. At least you're acting that way.
Wait, did you just like steal my favorite flavor of ice cream? Is mint chip really your favorite flavor?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, mint chip is my favorite flavor. Well, it's specifically Baskin-Robbins. I'm a big, Baskin-Robbins calls it Jamocha almond fudge, but generally mocha almond fudge is...
The J is silent.
Jamocha. I don't know why it's Jamocha. I really don't. Jamocha, like maybe it's like a play on Jamaica. It's got to be. What's Jamocha?
Okay, an ice cream truck rolls up. What's your thing? What are you getting? As a kid, you're 8 years old. It rolls up. Like, what are you?
I have such an unpopular response to this. In fact, like I don't know why.
You're just fucking chatting up the driver for like what his gas mileage is.
For sure.
Yeah.
You just inadvertently pulled a line from Home Alone.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you know the McAllisters are going to France? You know if it's cold there, do these vans get good gas mileage? Gee, I don't know, kid. Hit the road.
Do these vans get good gas mileage?
Gee, kid, I don't know. Hit the road.
My order at an ice cream truck was a chocolate malt, a carnation chocolate malt.
That was mine.
Are you kidding?
Are you kidding me?
Swear to God, with a wooden spoon. And
100%, dude. That was the best bang for the buck. That was like a shitload of ice cream. It was the best flavor.
But everyone thought it was so boring.
Oh, dude, people are like rolling up with like a Tweety Bird thing. You're going to be done with that in 2 seconds. Like, dude, this is going to take some time to melt. I got the wooden spoon.
How have we
Dude,
never talked about this?
I don't know. That is,
I'll do it.
I was going to say mine is an unpopular choice.
Totally unpopular. Like I would get made fun of. They're like, you're just going to get like ice cream? I'm like,
totally.
It's so good. And I like this.
So good.
I like the challenge of seeing if you could use the spoon the entire time without it snapping in half.
Oh, I know. It always snaps in
Always.
half. And I always get greedy. I'm like, I'm not going to wait. I'm not going to, I don't want it to
just
melt.
take your fingers?
And then just breaks every single time.
I wonder if that's still an option. I haven't been to an ice cream truck.
They still roll around from time to time.
Childhood is different these days. It's just like I don't think there's been an ice cream truck through our neighborhood. Which if you were going to go to any neighborhood like ours, you would go to our neighborhood, right?
Sure.
I don't think there's been an ice cream truck since Crosby was like 3 years. Like for the last 5 years, I haven't seen one roll through our neighborhood. And the one that did was like creepy as shit. Maybe that's why. Maybe people stopped getting food from an ice cream truck because just no one trusts anybody anymore.
That right there is a great business opportunity because I still do see them from time to time, and they're in Huntington a lot, but they're still like the janky ass trucks, like with the music, and it's like
yes.
I mean, it's straight from 1993,
yes,
right?
That's not the best business opportunity, and I can't believe I haven't talked to you about what it really is, but it's very close.
But imagine if like a beautiful Sprinter van was rolling up selling ice cream.
You're not a Sprinter because that's a lot of capital expenditure in the first day, but yes, it's something similar, something that just looks great.
I'm going to that van. I don't care. Puppies, ice cream, I'm there.
Yeah. No, you're right. You're right. And it has to feel like basically you would assuage all concern about the creepy ice cream guy.
Sure.
Also, you would have it operate. I would have it operated by like young college girls in summer, like nice, sweet young girls. Like the atypical.
It's like Girls Gone Wild ice cream.
No.
Edition.
I mean, I'm literally thinking of the girls who run Crosby's gymnastics camp, who are like the sweet Mormon family, who are just like.
I think it's illegal for you to think about them at your age.
I'm saying, Jesus. I'm picturing who would be great to do this truck, and it is
picturing it's just as bad. All right, so what's the greatest business opportunity?
Moving on. No, I'm not going to talk about it publicly.
Oh wow, you might execute.
I'm dead serious, and I mean, it's like been in the thoughts. And the other day, I asked somebody a question about the permit things, and we'll talk about this.
I've had some phenomenal ideas in my days, mostly inventions.
The one you talked to me about 2 weeks ago, where we were basically gonna inadvertently asphyxiate babies in bassinets.
Wait, what?
You're like,
Oh yeah, no, that's a great idea.
well, should we keep it hush then? Is baby asphyxiation in a bassinet?
No, let's throw it out there because maybe someone will just link us to a product that actually exists.
Okay.
So, new father here, in case we haven't talked about that every single episode. So they say like if you're trying to follow a schedule, a nap schedule, that you should do like a blackout room. And we obviously didn't grow up this way. We didn't black anything out.
No.
But I kind of understand to an extent, not that like, oh, that way they stay asleep, because in my opinion, you're just kind of creating bad habits.
Yes.
But
not in the very early days, but like in a couple of months.
What I'm told is basically if you need to set a schedule to make your baby go to sleep, if it's not black, if it's just like during the day, you're not going to be able to follow the schedule because there's just too much stimulation going on. Like they might fall asleep on their own at some point, right? And they'll stay asleep. That's fine. But it's like, oh, if we're trying to get a nap in at 2:00, it's like, well, to make them wind down, blackout room, it kind of like shuts down the nervous system where they're like, oh, I need to go to sleep now. So I understand that logic. But we've got a bassinet at the mother-in-law's house, bassinet at our house, whatever. And lots of times, like if you're chilling and you have them in the same room and it's not blackout, they have these like, blackout cover things that kind of, they're like, they go over, you had one, I think, over the car seat, and
like, I think that they would go down in a bassinet or in a crib or whatever. And it was just,
it's fine. I mean, we've been taking her everywhere. Yesterday we went to Nick's in San Clemente and just had a full blown dinner, and she was just like, Ash was just wearing her.
Yeah. It's great.
It's whatever.
How old do you think Crosby was when we took her to that bar?
To Woody's in Newport Beach?
And just put her illegally.
Get stabbed in the ribs there?
Yeah. Just put her under the counter.
Yeah.
I think she was under our table.
Yeah, she was.
Months?
Yeah, a couple of months for sure. I've had this idea just for years and never executed on it.
We're so giving right now.
Anyone who wants to take this, you can take it. I don't want any royalties, nothing. Just take it and run with it. It's long overdue, decades overdue, and you just got to execute.
Yeah, I'm a little different. You take a few, I'll take a few. We'll just kind of chop it up.
So remember when you were a kid and you were watching like a VHS tape in the VCR?
Sure, of course. You
got that remote in your hand, right? And you can play, you can rewind, you can all the things, right? There was an eject button on the remote to spit out the tape, and then it kind of just hangs out, right?
Okay.
It's just like the face of it kind of just hangs out. So like it's Saturday morning, you're having your chocolate milk, you're coming downstairs, you're trying to blow off some steam, right? Want to watch Garfield or something, whatever you got going on that VHS.
I'm trying so hard not to interject right now.
Please don't interject. All I want is a button on that remote that pushes the tape back in. That's all I want. Instead, I'm like lifting the Eggos off of my lap. I'm walking to the thing like a jackass, getting on my knees, pushing it in with my index finger back on the couch. Why wasn't there just a button to get that tape back in the VCR? So, there you go. That's a free idea. That's a free idea for anyone who wants it.
Let me know when I can rip this whole thing apart. One, what I want is to get Mimi on here to find out why you're drinking chocolate milk at 8 a.m. on a Saturday. Okay.
First of all, it's 7 days a week. Go on.
You drank chocolate milk every single morning?
Yep. That was a routine. It's the same like coffee, chocolate milk every morning.
You're how old? Like what? Starting
throughout my entire childhood.
Seriously?
Yep.
You couldn't watch like any television of real substance. We've talked like you.
I was crushing Seinfeld.
There's a running.
By the way,
joke.
I drank chocolate milk till I was like 27.
Yeah, I don't know why you stopped. There's a running thing between Jay and my wife that like they basically have the exact same rules, exact same like everything they could do, couldn't do, the types of cereal you had in the house, the soft drinks did or didn't have, like what can you watch about this TV show, this like literally the exact same rules and regulations. And I don't think
that one was on her radar.
I do not think that morning chocolate milk daily was on her bingo card. Wow. The second thing I want to address is delivering this business idea as a current.
Look, dude, we did an episode about how analog is going to override digital and the whole thing. I mean, this is a hot idea.
Hey, Braden, how many VCR machines are sold in a given year? Let's say in 2024.
You put every idea under a microscope, nothing's going to work.
VCRs have become quite a rarity these days. The last major manufacturer actually stopped production back in 2016. So brand new VCR sales are basically non-existent in 2024. Most of the ones changing hands these days are sold through secondhand markets, vintage stores, or online platforms.
So if manufacturers have stopped making them, this is another enormous opportunity to create the VCR that's got the remote that has the button.
I honestly think so. DVD players, once they...
Dude, no one has DVD players anymore.
I have a DVD player, but I don't. But it's only because I have literally thousands of DVDs. I was like such a movie buff at the time that DVDs were the medium of choice, and so I could
see you right now in my 17-year-old self walking to Best Buy every Tuesday to buy a DVD. I could just see it right now.
Well, that's because you work there.
Yeah, and that's why I can see it.
Yeah, so those went back in with the eject button. That button went both in and out.
Look, again, I'm not talking about all the inventions that did happen.
I'm not talking about what you do.
God.
Let's talk a little bit more about what you do.
What else you got?
You know what is interesting is a little conversation about memory, about having a good, whether I want to know from people out there whether like my type of memory is common or the issues that I have with memories of childhood versus yours can't be common. Yours,
I've learned in recent years that it is very uncommon.
Yours is absolutely wild. But did I tell you that Dale, again, second time he's come up here, he swears he remembers a train ride. His like I think maternal grandfather died and lived across the country, and they were taking him to Arizona, the body to Arizona. He got in with his mom, whatever. 2 years old. Swears he remembers like every detail to this trip at 2 years old. And I'm like, you're just trying to one up Jay.
Yeah, 2 is pretty young. I can definitely remember 3, but I can't remember 2.
Yeah, so my issue with childhood memories is I always, like my most vivid memories, if I just try to sit here and think about something from childhood, because you'll say that, like, what do you remember? How old do you remember? Whatever it is. And if I think about them, I start to question whether they are like restitched together memories from a picture, because they're things that I know that I've seen a picture of like that day. Do you know what I mean? So it's like I'm never even 100% sure with some of these things that I'm remembering.
That makes sense.
But when I asked you that,
I
you're
have
like,
no pictures.
We have photos.
There are no pictures. No,
Seriously?
I remember moments like, I mean, just the same way I remember something that happened yesterday, like very vividly, like in kindergarten. I just told you that story about pulling a card the other day, right? Like,
oh yeah. That you
like, I remember it vividly. I was 5 years old, you know? There's a lot I remember from kindergarten. Like I could tell you months and years, you know, of when these things happen.
Yeah, that's another wild thing about the whole months thing. I don't even know seasons. I'm not. That's another that's commonality between you and Ash, my wife.
Yeah. So what about just what's normal, what's abnormal?
I don't know whether mine is like bad like that, but I think I need more prompting. I feel like your stuff, even though yes, you do have a better memory, you also think about it more. Like maybe I don't sit and think about it, but like if you, like when you just said year by year, or when you talk about the card, like if I sit there and I go, okay, who was my kindergarten teacher? I do remember, like I can reconstruct in my brain my kindergarten classroom and where it was and where the playground was. It was a school that I was only at once or for 1 year.
Yeah.
Second grade, I know exactly. Like if I actually run through each one of those things, but only like major moments of like, which maybe that's normal, like major moments of excitement or major moments of like I remember in first grade, I had a standoff with a teacher, Mrs. Ferguson. She was a bitch. I'll maybe she's listening.
She's not alive.
I think she's dead.
Yeah. She's not alive.
Maybe. No, she was kind of old.
At your age? First grade?
That's just rude. No, a lot of them were. My second grade teacher for sure is alive. She better be. She was so great. So anyway, Miss Ferguson, I had a standoff with her first grade. I was wearing overalls. I remember this. And I told her I had to go to the bathroom and I had just come in from recess or lunch or whatever it was. And she's like, you should have gone when you had a chance at the bathroom.
Yeah, heard that one before.
And I was like, well, I didn't go, you know, and I was like, and I can't hold it. First of all, I'm 6.
You pissed your pants to prove a point.
I pissed my pants to prove a point.
Uh-huh.
And I had to go to the office. But I remember, I can vividly, I was on the right side of the classroom facing the front of it. I remember having the conversation back and forth, and then she's like, put your hand down, whatever, and I waited, and a couple minutes went by, and I asked again, and at that point, I just stood up, and I never sat back down. I just stood up, and I said to her, if you don't let me go, I'm just going to pee. And she's like, don't be ridiculous. And I just let it go.
It's like kind of symbolic for you in life.
Yeah, that I'm not cool with authority.
Yeah, that you just constantly are pushing against authority in some ways. In other ways, you're
that's fair.
Quite a conformist.
That's fair. We should go into all those things. Like I remember one day in first or second grade when my mom came and she had got a dog for like my parents had been asking for a dog, and she brought the dog to school. Like I remember like
you really did have a good childhood.
I know. She got a dog. Wait, what do you mean good? One of these things was terrible. I just pissed my pants in front of the whole class.
Are you kidding me? That's great. You got relief. But you asked for a puppy and the puppy came to school? Like what? I asked for a puppy and was told to eat shit. I never had a dog my whole life.
You're not a dog person. You're not like a
what? I had to buy my own dog.
I know, but you're not like a have a dog in your house. Like what your experience with Carl.
As a kid,
for sure,
you are.
For sure.
As a kid, you are for sure.
Your experience with Carl was so out of character now that I know you even better than I did. But at the same time, I don't think you would change that for the world. Like you learned it. I mean, you changed a shitload because of that. Like some aspects of that, I think, ready you for being a dad.
You know what's funny about the dog thing? Because I've often equated it to having children. Because as you know, I never wanted kids. Mm-hmm. I never wanted the burden or the time constraints or like the obligations. None of it. Logically, it just never made sense to me. So I'm pretty selfish person.
I was going to say selfishness is okay so long as that doesn't come at the expense of neglecting somebody.
Yeah. So, I mean, like, obviously I've really valued and appreciated like how agile I can be in my life and how much freedom I've had to go do the things I want to do when I want to do them, whatever. Then I bought a dog, an English bulldog named Carl. And
even to think of it as like buying is just...
Yeah. Well, I kind of bought my daughter too. So it was one of those things where you think it's a good idea and then you get this puppy and you're like, wait, so you're actually eating your own shit. Like I have to teach you not to do that. How is it? Why? Like, don't do that, you know? And like the training, and especially in English bulldog, they cannot be trained.
Sure.
I mean, unless that's your full-time job. But
I would have expected your biggest thing would be like, and I thought you were just going to say this. Wait, so you're here like all the time?
Yeah.
Like,
what do you do?
Yeah,
nothing. You're just here, and it's supposed to make me happy.
I don't get mornings. You're gonna come at me the second that I wake up.
You make things dirty, but you never clean. So it was great, but it was one of those things where it's like, I often heard people talk about having kids this way. They're like, oh, it's hard, and this and that, and blah, blah, blah. They're like, but I wouldn't trade little Joey for the world. I'm like, well, no one's asking you to trade him for anything. I'm asking you if you regret it, which is a completely different question.
It's really not. I mean, like...
It is, because if someone said, would you give Carl up? No, of course not. Like, you can't put the toothpaste back in the tube. Like, now that he's here, like, it's unlocked this brand new emotion, like, sure. All this, like... There's no way it would break my heart for him to go anywhere, right? Like,
okay, but now that it's been years since he's been gone, and that emotional wound I think is mostly healed and whatnot. Are you saying now that if you went back in time,
I would have never bought Carl? And by the way,
would you not?
Correct. And that's not even because I've healed since putting him down. It's while I had him and he was alive and well. If you asked me if you could turn back time, would you buy him? I'd say no. Knowing what I know now, I would not.
But what you know now, you also know the feeling that you gained from having him. Like, you know the good side, too.
I know the good side. It's not a net benefit. It's not a net positive. Why do you think I don't have a dog now? Think about it. I would just get another dog.
I'm with you.
Right? So having children, I've always equated the same way. Where people are like, oh, it's so hard, but it's so worth it. I'm like, I get it. It's so hard. It's so worth it. You love your kids so much because it's kind of illegal if you don't. But
it's really not illegal if you don't.
Well, it's frowned upon. But
it's not. It's probably, I mean, I don't know the numbers, but like, that's why the shit that I see on social media that I think I've talked to you about that says like, this is only hard because you're a good parent. Like the shit that you're dealing with, like, if you're a shitty parent, you know what I mean? If you're a bad parent, you don't care, you whatever, this isn't hard because you don't care enough.
my point is I've always equated to basically the same thing. So it's been like, yeah, granted, things are hard, but it's worth it, and you wouldn't trade Crosby and Wilder for the world or whatever. But for me, someone who never wanted kids, it was like, yeah, but I don't need the high highs for the low lows, because I'm not actually searching for the high highs, and I'm not even remotely curious as to what they feel like, right? Like, it feels like a Carl to me, right? That is how I have felt my entire life.
Okay.
And then in my ripe old age of 39,
Really?
thank you. Oh, I thought you were going to say I look good for my
Oh yeah, this is no longer evergreen, but
yeah, I mean, you kind of start thinking about things a little bit differently, and obviously family is the most important thing ever, and that won't be there unless you create one, and whatever. But also, it kind of is like I've reached a point in my life where I could have never had kids in my early 20s or even my early 30s. Like, you'd have like so much resentment and FOMO that, like, dude, I never had freedom. I never had agility to do what I wanted to do. Like, I always was bound to this obligation or whatever. For me, I look at this as like chapters. I'm like, damn, I really front loaded a lot of good stuff. Like, I've seen the world. I've done a lot of amazing things. Now, things have changed for a few reasons. Like, one, you create in the family, but two, I'm really actually like sinking my teeth into it, and I really, really enjoy it. And the sacrifice doesn't actually feel that much like a sacrifice. Like, I mean, it is for sure, but it's like, I'm happy to do it. And it's like, this is the next step. I'm not like, damn, there's this big opportunity cost or whatever. I'm just like, no, that's just like what it is now. Like, I'm good with it. I'm actually happy about it, you know?
yeah, just to set a marker, we're at like week 6. So
Sure.
so the sacrifice is you're waking up for a couple of hours once each night, 2 nights a week.
2 nights a week. Oh, look, dude, this is not about me.
Let's not get into the details here.
This isn't about me.
So you're saying you already feel like a difference in.
I guess contrary to my original belief,
children are different from dogs?
yes, children are actually a little different than dogs, because Carl, he was beautiful and cute and whatever, but he never changed. He was the same for 6.5 years.
Yeah.
So like
puppy and then big and then and then you're kind of just consistent.
And that was it.
Sure.
But with Saya, it's like, oh my God, you become different as we go. Like, you become different and new the older you get. And this is a fun thing. And you're also going to like talk back and have opinions, all that stuff. This is way better than a dog.
Yeah, 100%. I do agree with that. And I'm somebody that had a dog, again, prior to kids. And like, I did the whole thing where like she was my entire world, and then me and Ash's entire world. And then we, you know, like you would have hated me. Like, I mean, the way that I had a dog, I'd take a dog to like the mall. I would take.
God, I could see it.
I didn't have like a dog stroller or anything, but she was on a leash. God. She came everywhere. She came to the office every day with me at previous companies. Like, she was, you know. But I was something the other day on Instagram or something that was a mom talking about how like you don't raise one kid, you kind of raise like 4 or 5 different kids. Like you know what I mean? Like you raise this baby. And that's one stage. And you basically, but it was kind of a sad thing. It was literally saying like, you know, this little person, and then, you know, a few years later, they're absolutely nothing like that other person.
Stage is done.
Each time you kind of have to like let go of and say goodbye to each individual person. And the one blessing in it is that it kind of happens so fluidly that you never even realize you didn't say goodbye to that one, you know? So, because if you did, it would be heartbreaking. But like stuff will happen all the time. That's why pictures like I say it to Ash all the time, like pictures are like bittersweet, because now we have millions and my kids are obsessed with pictures, and you look at them and you're like, oh my God, I miss that little kid.
Yeah. Annie will like, I'll send pictures of Thea when he was like 2, and she's like, oh my God, my heart, you know? And I'm like, what? She's like mourning the time that.
Totally.
So that's why the mindfulness piece is so important. And like this morning, say I have her like sleeping on my chest, and I'm just like, this is the best. Like, she's not going to sleep on my chest forever, you know?
I mean, for a good long time.
Yeah. Now, you said the word blessing. Do you believe in God?
What did I say blessing?
You said it's a blessing.
What did I say was a blessing?
The stages, I guess.
Wow. You want to just get we're just going to do like a I do believe in something larger than us. I don't know exactly what it is.
So you believe that there was a creator, or is a creator?
A creator meaning like, can I both believe that as well as believe in evolution? Because I do. So
Explain
yes, like,
that.
I don't believe that like some larger being invented, like created humans. I believe that humans derived from apes, but I think that I believe that there is some sort of power, and I don't like, it's not a him, it's not a her, it's not a thing like that, that has to have had a hand in putting things in place for evolution to be possible.
So God didn't invent humans; He invented apes.
God damn. Not invented apes. I mean, apes, everything came from a single cell organism. Right? Like, it's literally, we're going to go all the way back.
The thing with ethics and business ethics.
Business ethics. But I also, like, I believe, and this is a conversation that I had this with a group of friends when I was in like my maybe late 20s, mid 20s, and they were a little bit younger than me. And they were all very religious and Christian. And we'd have these conversations all the time. And I would always like make their brain explode and really upset them, I think, because my perspective on it was, I think that my view of this whole thing is just like much larger. And they would take offense to that. I was like, no, I don't. That's not what I mean. Like, I'm not saying yours is wrong and mine's right. I'm just basically saying, like, is it possible? Because they would always, I was raised Jewish, right? And like,
Yeah.
I was.
No, I know you celebrate Hanukkah as well as Christmas. It's one of the most selfish, greedy things about you.
How's that selfish and greedy? It cost me a fortune. So
What do you mean? It costs you a fortune. You get all these gifts that come down from above from a creator.
I get nothing. Me personally?
Santa?
I get
Jewish Santa? Then neither one of
First
them
of
are
all, there
helping.
is no Jewish Santa. You're referring to the holiday armadillo, and he gives nothing.
Oh, wait, that's a real thing? The holiday?
No, it's not a real
I'm
thing.
like, holy shit, I thought it was just a Friends reference this whole time. And like, it's a whole real behind the scenes Jewish thing?
No, it's not. It was the only costume that was left at the shop.
Oh, yeah.
So anyway, my whole point to them was essentially like, because so I don't know if you know about this, but like Judaism was the only religion that I knew about at the time, or whatever, maybe the only main religion that doesn't proselytize, like where they're not trying to convert anybody to your shit.
Yeah,
In fact,
you like the exclusivity of it.
yeah, of course I like the exclusivity of it. Not only is it like they're not trying to get anybody else, there's tests you got to take to even be considered to join, right? Wow. Yeah, and there's hazing. So I'm just kidding. So, but also there isn't really a we're right and you're wrong and you're going to hell because of it. We don't even believe in a hell, right? Like, our Jews don't believe in hell. So anyway, my whole my whole conversation with them was, why? Because if you don't believe in it, you can't go there.
Well, it's just like, in your religion, there's a heaven and a hell, and you hope you get to heaven. You're like, in mine, we don't even believe in that thing, so we're locked in.
Yeah, but we're also not saying we're right and you're wrong, and ours is the only way to do it. So it's kind of, so I would always get that, and like growing up, I know you originally wanted to do this episode about childhood. I could actually dig deep at a vulnerability and talk about like,
It's good to cry.
that kind of stuff of like, I was told I was going to hell by dozens of kids throughout elementary school.
Sure.
Right? You don't believe in Jesus? No. Oh God, you're going to burn in hell. Your whole family's going to burn in hell. I'm like, for sure. I'm like 7.
My dad used to tell me that just because I didn't put my skateboard away.
Our childhood, we should do one about this, because literally you said that, and the first thing that came into my head is seeing my dad on the driveway sweating bullets because he was helping me make a quarter pipe that he didn't know how to make, and he's just like taking his entire weekend. And then he's also he would build me these like rail slides with PVC pipe.
Oh yeah, for sure,
dude. And your dad telling you you're going to hell because you put the skateboard away.
Actually, he did build me a fun box, believe it or not.
See?
Yeah.
Come on, Mike. Okay. Where the hell were we? Okay. So in the religion thing, I would basically say like, okay, so my perspective was always not from a we're right, you're wrong, you're going to hell kind of thing. Mine was just like, for sure, believe what you believe. Like, the more the merrier. We're here to I be chill. So I would always say to them, like, my perspective is just a little bit bigger. Like, I think there's this God, you want to call him God, call him whatever it is, but there's this like larger power, spirit, whatever. It could be spirituality, straight. Like, but essentially, if there was the creation of a bunch of different religions, it's kind of like, hey, these people in this area of the world, in this land, because of the history of their people, this religion gets created, and they need this sort of a thing to believe in to make themselves feel good about stuff and to live a righteous life and whatever. But these people over here with a totally different history and whatever, well, they're going to be Muslim. and they've caught this whole thing. And then these people are, and they can all kind of be right for themselves. It doesn't mean that either one of them is any wrong. So it's like your not little God, but like the God that you're talking about in my head is just like, oh, what if there's like a bigger thing at play here that allows all this shit to exist, and you clearly need to believe this to make yourself feel good. So go ahead and do that.
See, you don't believe that you should be doing these folks a favor on the other side of the world and traveling to them and telling them what is actually the truth so that they'll have salvation.
So I would always have that question. I'm like, so what if somebody like lives and then dies and never knows this? So then do they go to hell too? Because obviously they don't believe. And I would go, well, if they never had the opportunity to learn, then it's a little bit different.
You got to read the fine print for sure.
Yeah, what are we talking about? What's the fine print here?
So you mentioned this person. Oh, I mean, it's not a person. It's a thing. It's a big thing, a creator, whatever. Is this someone that you, or an energy or something that you talk to?
I don't. I mean, that's not true. I've had a few moments in my life where I have like asked, or where I think I have, but every single time I almost caveat it. I'm like, if there is a higher power,
it's always fear based when you speak to this energy.
No, it is either fear based because are you thinking of like, yeah, somebody's in the hospital, someone's going through surgery or something, so and I'm like, please, like,
or you're like out in the ocean, caught in a riptide, about to die or something. You're saying like, if this exists, please, whatever. So some sort of ask tied to this interaction.
Some sort of ask, but it's not always fear based. There's the other ask would be for like grandparents who are gone that like. It's a combination between like a prayer or talking to somebody and just like a hoping. I'm not sure where to draw that line, but it's like hoping that these people who have passed on are at peace and are.
Now, are you talking to the energy, or are you talking to the people who have passed? Like, do you ever talk to your late grandparents, or are you talking to the energy to talk to the late grandparents?
No, I'm not talking to an energy to talk to the grandparents. But I'm also not actually talking to grandparents. I mean, I think I have, but it's just more of like a thought. Like there'll be something that will happen with a kid, and I will be thinking like, I hope that this person's watching, or like a feeling that like,
where are they watching from?
Third base. Would I not say baseball? Sorry. In my head, I was thinking baseball. My grandparents on my mother's side were like huge baseball, Dodgers fans specifically. And so there'll be something like, I remember like seeing my son in a Dodger hat for the first time, thinking like they'd fucking love this.
Yeah, but where are they watching from? From the baseball game, or from like the heavens above?
Heavens above. They're not at the baseball
because there's no hell.
I don't know that I believe that. I don't know that like an actual hell.
Where do you think you're going?
Fire and brimstone. Do I get to turn the tables at some point? Fire and brimstone, I don't believe that, but I also have trouble believing that like people who commit heinous acts and hurt people and hurt children and whatever, like that, they've got to suffer in some way after this. Like,
oh, really?
Yeah, I don't think that it's just like, I would like to believe. A lot of these things are not like I necessarily, but I would like to believe.
You wish harm on other people.
I don't think that somebody who hurts. I mean, think about like the most heinous possible thing. Think about.
Oh no, I'm with you. I mean,
Sandy Hook or something like that. I don't think that person just pulls the trigger on themselves and like, oh, you're cool. Like nothing. You know what I mean? Like it's over the same way it's over for my grandfather who fell asleep.
That's kind of the question I'm asking. It's like, where does that person go? Where's the other person go? Where are you going? What's it look like? Is there a place?
You know what, I don't know. We couldn't get the author who does the things, but we should bring Barbara Jekyll on and she can talk about that author that she reads all the time that talks about all this shit. Because there are accounts of some of these things that like to me are, well, actually, okay, go back to the creator and the whole deal because it's a little bit different. I also believe, or I also assume, and this is almost more scientific, that like there's really no way in the universe that we're the only thing that exists here. It's just too damn big. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So it's like, I think that, and that's another one that would fuck up the Christian kids. I'd be like, well, not only that, but I think that this is literally exists in one part of the earth and this religion and this and that, but then there's something that created this. But I also think that whatever that thing is, whatever, created this or has some sort of potential larger energy, could be a million of these experiments going on all over, in space.
Yeah.
Right. Is that what you believe?
Pass. So we'll see you next time.
You can't do that because I feel like you've gone back and forth.
No, I agree with you. The Book of Job says, I'm just kidding. I mean, we're kind of going over on time.
Don't do that. This is fucked. You just made me the Spanish Inquisition.
I don't have any real convictions at the end of the day. That's really what it boils down to. So I mean, everything you said, I agree with. It's like, I think the smartest people out there can admit they don't know.
Sure.
Right. And that's actually the people to me who have a voice. When they say, I have no clue what happens when you die. Because guess what? I've never died.
Sure.
You know, like, well, maybe they have. But, you know, so like, yeah, who knows? I think that similar to you saying, well, there's this group of people that live in this area and this group of people, and somehow there's this one religion that's heavily concentrated in that area and one that's really heavily concentrated here. It's like, what a weird coincidence that is, you know, like obviously there's a lot of cultural things that there's parallels, there's similarities. You look at a lot of these like these religions that are almost identical in some ways, you know, like in terms of there was apostle, disciples, and the savior and all, you know, it's like very similar storylines and whatever. Everyone's ultimately trying to get to the same point of salvation, whatever.
With like tiny nuanced differences that.
Yeah. And I'm not even saying I believe in any of those.
Sure.
Right. I'm just saying like, I mean, maybe it's good to have some sort of thing you believe in and whatever. And I think that in general, it's probably healthy for people so long as they keep an open mind. But to your point, I think a lot of people actually don't keep an open mind because they're sort of brainwashed by it.
Well, you know that they don't, because I can tell you firsthand that whatever they imparted on their kids at the age of like 5, 6, 7, 8, those kids would just come to school and tell me I was going to go to hell. So you're like,
no, you're right. Actually, I read this quote a couple months ago. I loved it. It said, "You can't reason someone out of something they weren't reasoned into."
That's brilliant.
And I love that because you're blindly defending something and you don't even know this. You don't even know the alternatives.
Yeah. Well,
but to your point, I think that, it's way bigger than anyone could ever know. So I have zero convictions.
Yeah.
Right. So like when we talk about like a creator and all that stuff, like I have no clue. But I just know that this world is enormous and vast, and we are a small fraction of it. And human beings are kind of like the baby little bacteria growing, on the world. Like, what the hell do we know? We come and go in a matter of decades. Like, it's just so minute and micro that, it's much bigger. And there's just so much more going on behind the scenes, like powerful things that we could never, ever, ever comprehend in our mind. Like, I mean, think about when you try to explain a dream you had. You know, and you're like, we were at my old elementary school, but it was actually my parents' house. And I was driving this car when I was 17, but it was actually not that car. And you're just like, what the fuck are you saying? You know, it's like, it's all melded together. And in your dream, it wasn't confusing at all.
Yep.
In your dream, it made perfect sense, but you actually cannot articulate it in words.
Sure.
Similarly, I feel like if there is, religion or whatever, it's like, this could never be communicated. So to even personify it as like God is a man and blah, 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 you're like, you think this person resembles a human? Like the person who created everything resembles a human? Yeah. Like that is just such small thinking, in my opinion.
Or came to Earth as a human.
Right. So. Like, and again, maybe it's possible. Maybe, who knows?
Well, and it's okay that it could be possible for you and not for someone else.
That's the other thing. Yeah. It's like, I definitely don't have a vested interest at all in what anybody else cares about or like believes in. Zero. You know, I think it's the weirdest thing ever, you know?
The intent, like the idea of like it being
to save you or whatever. It's like,
you don't
like mayonnaise? Well, Chet doesn't like mayonnaise, so we should talk to him. Like, he needs to know about mayonnaise. Like, it's like, that actually makes more sense to me.
I do get that if you believed so strongly and you were so convicted that like this is the way that you achieve whatever it is, that if you care about somebody, I get that you'd want them to do that. I don't.
Yeah, that's true.
You know
that's
what I
true.
mean?
If you were actually that,
if you really believe it, like you're so convicted about this, and it's basically like, okay, this is the way that you get to this great place or whatever it is. God, I care about Jay so much. I really want him to do that. But that's not.
There actually are things like that in life that where I do care about people and I do think like, oh, they should know about this or whatever. But even still, just like the idea of persuasion of any kind is already kind of sensitive because you're like, dude, you're your own person. Do what you want. But here are my findings, and here's what I think. You know, like, you decide what you want to decide, right? So
You're saying I could have stayed at any hotel in Maui.
yeah. Oh yeah, but yeah. So I don't really have any convictions there.
Since this isn't a touchy subject, last thing I'll say on the religion piece is the disconnect for me a lot of times is for somebody to not acknowledge that it helps them to believe the thing. So like when you say I'm not totally I don't have a ton of conviction about anything, and the things that I believe are my perspective and what I was just talking about of where do we exist and how does all. It's almost like even the way that I said that, do you talk to somebody else? It's kind of like, it's almost like whatever I am doing, it's because I choose to do that. Like I want to do that. Like I would like to believe that there is this, or and I'm acknowledging that in some way it gives me fulfillment or it makes me make sense of certain things that don't make sense to me. If there is a connection between these things, or like you've had a bunch of different situations with Grammy and Grampy where like, things that will happen and you'll literally say it to me and you'll be like a light switch or a light turning on, these kinds of things. And it's kind of like you're saying it, and I when I hear it, I can go either way. I could be like, well, I mean, maybe there was like a surge in electricity or whatever, or I can go, wow, like maybe somebody is creating those things. And I'm very conscious of the idea that like I can fucking choose either way, but it makes me feel a lot better to choose that it's possible that is somebody trying to, you know what I mean?
Yes.
So it's sort of like, so I used to say it in the wrong way to people that I was having these conversations with. I was basically saying like, it's just, I think, healthy to admit that I would say that religion or your religion or your chosen is a crutch. That's probably the wrong way to say it because that
definitely the wrong way to say it. Yeah.
That felt offensive, but basically acknowledging that like, you could have chosen something else. It's bringing another dimension into your life and making you feel fulfilled. And that's okay that you've chosen to do it. Versus, it just is fact.
Right, yeah.
And
that's when you kind of lose people. But the comfort piece is key. Like I had a conversation, went really, really deep one time with someone like on this religion thing, whatever, but it was going kind of a dark place because it kept going deeper and deeper, pointing to like atheism. And I could see the person on the other side start to like believe that, you know, and like it was like sucking the life out of, and I was like, oh, this isn't, what's the point of this conversation? Like at the end of the day, like this is depressing this person, right? Like there's comfort in knowing or having convictions, right? That there's a higher power or that like people go to heaven when they die or whatever. And it's like, if someone really truly believes that, so long as they don't give a shit what anyone else believes, that I wish I actually believed that, right? Like I actually wish that I really like 100% thought that everyone I've lost in my life was like in heaven, in paradise right now. Like I wish I truly believed that, right? So I think that for that case, that's a net positive for sure.
Yeah.
So let's talk religion, politics, all the things, vaccines. Let's bring it all up. But we actually should talk politics. That would be great.
Oh my God.
That would be wonderful.
All right. Well, we're deep right now. We're 45 in. All right. This has been an episode
guys.
of Who Cares? Like, subscribe.
Actually, tell us like if we're way off the mark, if you're like, hey, this is cool, this is terrible, you guys should get back on track. Like, because honestly, like we don't know. We're just shooting the shit and hope you enjoy it.
Yeah, if you didn't like this topic of today's, and by the way, and by that I mean there was no topic. I'm not even sure. Thank you. See you next week.